Hey, welcome back to Two Stupid Guys Try Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny. And today is one of those magical 4 days a year where we get insight into Michael Burry's madness a little bit. His 13F filing for the fourth quarter of 2024 just came out. You know, we're Alibaba shareholders here. We want to see what he's been doing with his Alibaba shares. We're going to take a peek at his 13F filing. All right. So, if you haven't seen the news yet, all right. So, Alibaba is still his largest holding in his portfolio. Okay. But he did trim back on it 25% in the most recent quarter for this filing. Like I said, this is Q4 2024, so it's 45 days out of date. This is what he held as of like New Year's, basically from 2024.
Oh, and JD 40%. I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, so he's still the very much the China trade is like top of his mind. Like I said, Alibaba is still his largest holding despite trimming 25%. Baidu, he kept no change. Same asset allocation in Baidu stock. JD, he did trim back on that one, 40% of his position. Estee Lauder is a new one here, actually. We can talk about that separately. And then Pinduoduo, the parent company of Temu, sorry, is a new acquisition for him. And pretty sizable right off the bat, going all the way up to 9%. And like I said, it's a new one. It's the first quarter he's actually had it. And if you remember from prior filings, he had these puts, right? Yeah, the Baba put, Baidu put, and JD put. He closed out those positions in the quarter, so no longer betting bearishly, at least in the short term, on those. But he does have a little bit of trimming, except from hopefully some profit taking on Baba,
I can
which is
show.
kind of ironic because we just looked at a video or that Baba is up 47% year to date, which is insane. This would have been closed out before that 47%
Yeah.
run in Baba.
This is where he initiated the Baba position, right? So we don't have an exact date. That's not how 13Fs work. It's just like a 3 month range, right? So somewhere in here, right? And then somewhere in here, he actually sold. I would assume, I mean, he's a smart dude. I would assume he probably took profit. This is the weekly 200 moving average as we hit that.
Yeah.
So knowing, average here 80, took profit around 115, which, give or take $10. Well, not give or take $10, 105.
Yeah.
But that would mean, I mean, this came right back up and shattered it. So
Yeah.
kind of a bummer for him. Sold too early,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, that's his classic, though, right? Remember that was his issue with
I mean,
GameStop.
yeah.
He, you know,
Well, he still got a bunch of shares. He still has. It's still 16% of his portfolio.
oh yeah, as of now for Alibaba, yeah. My
Yeah.
point was like when the GameStop thing kind of kicked off, he made a multiple on his money, like
Yeah.
100% profit. I don't remember exactly. Obviously, we don't even know publicly. We would just have to kind of guess based upon his 13F filings. But then it was before the GameStop mania. He had closed out his position like that quarter before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh oh.
But
Not great.
yeah, the China valuation is still very much at top of his mind here. But as far as other things that are going on in his portfolio, he did Estee Lauder. It's funny. It's a company I've been meaning to look at because I know they've had some negative sentiment around them. So I'm not really sure if it's deserved or not. But that's a brand new position for him, and it's pretty sizable. So it might be worth us doing a little bit separate deep dive.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
Molina Healthcare, this is one he's owned for a little while. Looks like he trimmed back his position. Another healthcare company, HCA Healthcare. I'm not sure on this one particular. I'd have to look it up, but he does seem to like REITs. So that's my suspicion with them. And same thing goes here for this Bruker Corp. Listed as healthcare as well. I'm not really sure if it's a REIT, healthcare REIT or something like that. Those are right up his alley. VF Corp. This is one he's been in and out of before in the past. It's not another one I don't know much about. Manchera Corporation, another one. This is very funny too. If you look at a lot of different like super investors, Burry definitely tends to have a lot of more obscure companies, I would say, compared to some of the other
For sure.
big names. Um, yeah, Oscar Health. I'm guessing this is another real estate REIT. Then the Coastal Insurance Company, and finally this last one here is Canada Goose. That's kind of funny. I've heard they're no longer on fashion trends, so maybe that's why the company's getting beat up a little bit. Looks like it's a tiny little tester position though, less than 0.5% of his portfolio. That's
Yeah.
it. He really runs like a real concentrated portfolio. Like I said, he closed out his puts against the Chinese companies here, the JD, Baidu, and Baba, and then he closed out his positions entirely in this Olaplex Holdings. Shift 4 Payments, Jared Isaacson's company there, and the Real, another my understanding, secondary like fashion company that he's been in and out of a few times
Can
as
you
well. But all of those are now closed positions for him. So
can you
he
scroll
really
down
only
for
has
me?
10 or so core holdings, which is
So
pretty
it
very
looks like
concentrated portfolio.
he still got about half of his portfolio in China.
Yeah.
Still got about 50% ish, 52.
It would be a real question after, will it be so in the next 13F filing? I don't know, man. This 47% run year to date, that's pretty bonkers. So I'd
So
be
assuming he played it perfectly, we're only perfectly meaning he sold at 115, which is illogical when you look at the chart because it actually touched and came back down, right? And he's also
yeah.
a little bit of a chart dude. So I would say he's not missing out on a whole bunch. We're only $9 off that. So I don't know if he would sell right here. He may be waiting because he already took some profit, so he's already good for a bit. And the rumors are necessarily rumors. Like the Apple deal is not a rumor. It's
No.
going to happen. So I would say this has more room to run. All China stocks, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at the chart a little bit more in the video specifically about the Alibaba news, but it looks like we've broken out the blue sky here a little bit, and now we're putting in support maybe at 125 ish. So,
Yeah.
yeah, shit's
All right,
about to get
guys.
real, guys.
Let
Till
us
the
know
next
what
one.
you think.